Hey, what's up YouTube? Books Nelson here, back with another video, and today we'll be talking about tomorrow's upcoming Spark collection. And you see the name right there. Finally, we get potentially a truly elite card in one of these collections. These collections have been very mid, and some of the objectives have been not super great also. So this could be a major step up for the Spark collection. We talked a lot about, actually, we'll get into that. For now, let's get into the content and just talk about what's here. So obviously headlining is Penny Hardaway. DeAndre Jordan might be okay. Cam Johnson only at the 3, which is a little unfortunate, but he should be all right. I'm actually going to look at Cam's official height while we talk here. But yeah, this Penny is obviously the headliner, and is the first time I think the Spark collection actually demands like, hey, go ahead and lock everybody in and do whatever the annoying objectives are. Go ahead and do them because the headlining card is just that good. Okay, so he is officially listed as 6'8" with a 6'10" wingspan in 2K. So that is a pretty good size at the 3. And Reggie Lewis, we'll see how he turns out. Usually Reggie Lewis, he's had an up and down my team history. He's had some situations where he's been a good card, some where not so much, but he is 6'7" at the 2 guard. And then Keldon Johnson as well. Does anybody know Keldon Johnson's jumper? Let's see here. I don't know if I've used him much this year. Yeah, he doesn't really have a serious card this entire time. He did have the Tournament Battles card, which I did not use at all. He's only 6'5". Before he was listed as small forward, power forward at 6'5". Now he'll be at the 2 guard, which I mean probably not going to be particularly usable. He has his own signature jumper. He does have Tray Escape built into the card though. He already has, low key, this card was actually kind of dope. Like he had Tray Escape and Luka moving crossover even way back when. Kind of a sleeper card that I wasn't aware of, partially because he was 6'5" at the 3. But this collection looks like a major step up. Hopefully the agendas aren't too bad. And I will say this, even though the agendas are usable, something like say 100 3-pointers, it's just volume wise. Even if you're getting a lot of threes, you have to like move your gameplay to do that. You have to kind of play more games than you would normally play if you're not already playing a ton online. And again, having a channel, I speak to a lot of people who are either no money spent or they're they play online sometimes or just for objectives, but mostly they're offline player or 50 players or 50-50, or even a player like myself who plays a lot of rec. Like if people are really online and we're playing a lot of rec or playing a lot of pro-am, I might just not have the hours to put it. Maybe hours is a strong term, and if you find somebody online that's willing to trade threes, they can go buy like that. But I still think 100 is just a large number. 100 is just a big number to put on these collections, considering they have a whole bunch of other objectives. Throwing things like in salary cap, I remember that one time they had like Pelicans rebounds and salary cap, and it's like, it's just not fun, man. Like, and that would be the thing I would say in this little mini rant, is just make the objectives either fun or interesting in some kind of way. These super grindy, like annoying objectives, use this card, play this way you don't want to play. Nobody wants to do that. Don't give us make 10 post fades against an online opponent. Just stop the nonsense, all right? Just make it a relatively easy and clear path to get the cards. But I will say, tomorrow's collection looking reasonably solid. We'll see what Reggie Lewis and Cam Johnson have to offer, but Penny Hardaway is the key. The one dangerous thing about this Penny card being the ultimate lock-in above everybody else is just if the objectives are super annoying, you have to do all of them to get the Penny Hardaway, as opposed to before where I thought with the reason some of the other cards like the Tyson Chandler, you didn't have to get Zion, even Kuzma's cool, but you don't have to get the Kuzma. You can just get the one card you want. This collection, no way, buddy. You got to get the Penny Hardaway, non-negotiable. And before we get out of here, I'll look at the animations that Penny has at this moment so we can talk about them. So as it is right now, Penny has his own release on Quick. His release is pretty solid, pretty easy. He has Michael Jordan dribble style. Ja size up. Desperately hope that changes. Tray Escape, which is absolutely fine. Kobe moving crossover. So that's automatically he's going to be somewhat elite. Moving Hezzy's pro, and we love that. So yeah, I mean, moving behind the back, we'll see which one he gets. He has Pro here. He has normal leaner on his Galaxy Opal. Hopefully that gets upgraded to Pro 2, or they need to start giving Kobe's leaner. Like, guys, we're in June. Let's start, giving those Booker and Kobe leaners out a little more frequently. He has Pro 2 hop jumper, which I also hope gets upgraded. And I expect his shot to go from quick to very quick as well. Hopefully that blends really nicely with that Jamal Murray behind the back. It is penny base, his own base, which I expect to stay the same. But I will say, depending on the behind the back this card gets, he will be in the running in the top 5 point guard area, is my expectation. Penny's going to move great. He should defend pretty well, but he's going to have that nice tall player model that everybody likes so much. And he already comes with a few elite dribbles, even if they change nothing. We just really hope to see that size up get changed. That's the main thing. The jaw size up, not good enough for me on a Dark Matter card. I want to see that upgraded. As long as they upgrade that size up and he has an elite behind the back, I'll take Harden, Murray, or Halliburton. If he has one of those three, we are good money. He already has the Kobe crossover, so automatically this card is at least going to be good, because with the Kobe crossover and the Trey escape, you can already super duper cook people with this card as it is. But yeah, so we're getting an elite free point guard tomorrow. I know, yet another point guard. Oh my God, I forgot which comment it was, but they said their team, my casino, and my point guard. I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, another episode of My Point Guard tomorrow. Hopefully Cam Johnson and Reggie Lewis are also good. And before we leave, let's just see, is there any information about Reggie Lewis that we can look forward to? So he only got one card. We know he's 6'7". He's got Lonnie Walker base, which I think might be good. Kuzma upper. We could be in for, oh, he's got some solid dribbles too. He's got Luka crossover, Steph Curry moving step back. This card was low-key actually kind of nice. This Dunktober Reggie Lewis, from an animation standpoint, he was pretty good. He had a 59 3-ball, which is, it is what it is. But yeah, this is a card I actually expect to be really, really good, because even if he released with these animations with just really juice stats, except for the Zach LaVine behind the back, which is terrible, everything else is actually pretty usable. He has Kyrie Irving combo moves, pro dribble style, and he has Giannis signature size up, which is not great, but that's, I'm almost certain, going to get upgraded. And his shot's obviously going to go from normal to very quick in the Dark Matter. So this Reggie Lewis might actually be pretty good. We just hope he has a really good release. That's the main thing. But Lonnie Walker, Kyle Kuzma, got to see how that turns out. I don't know too many cards with the Lonnie Walker base. Yeah, it's just Rick Fox, Lonnie Walker, Kenny Lofton, and Reggie Lewis. So we will see how that turns out. But very, very much looking forward to this collection tomorrow. And before we get out of here, I will briefly talk about, I keep saying before we get out of here and extending the video, I promise you that's not intentional, but I did want to cover this real quick. These are the cards out today. So I think Nick Young is a good card. If you have been playing the game, I don't think he's worth it, because you can get Dr. J off of the Pro Pass. And even if you whiff on Dr. J, there are other good 2 guards. They recently released Jimmy and Vince Carter. I think Jimmy's excellent. They had another playoff code that you might have got a 2 guard from. And we're also, I would say, take a look at that Reggie Lewis tomorrow. So while Nick Young is actually a good card, Ricky Davis was last week, I do think that you have come across better 2 guards. And I think we're at the point in this rotation where don't dump your resources into somebody until they give them Patty or Tracy base. Like, except for Dr. J and Ron Artest, if you didn't have the Opal, I don't think any other shooting guard is worth resources right now until we start seeing the elite bases put on these cards. So I would say hold the line if you already have good 2 guards. Even if your 2 guards aren't, you should have at least one who's as good as Nick. But yeah, so hold the line on that. LeBron, I actually think this LeBron is still okay, but kind of the same thing. Like LeBron, and I've been talking very highly about LeBron cards all year, but the thing about LeBron in this old card, so he was one of the first cards to get that Trey Escape upgrade, but the rest of his SIGs are all his own SIGs except for the John Wall step back. Back then, that was still enough for him to be an absolutely elite card. And I do still think he's a good card, but I will say his shot off of the behind the back is just not great. And if you are using that, if you are an advanced player who's, frequently doing things to get to that Jamal Murray behind the back, then he's not going to be, enough that I would put the resources into him. I think right now, 2K is in a holding pattern where they're just trying to stall, because once they start putting T-Mac, Patty, JT Thor, Torian Prince, once they start putting all of these bases on the rest of the cards, the last thing they can really do is break positions and have the taller guards break positions. There's only one more upgrade cards can need. So since they came out with 100 overalls, everybody's stats have been pretty much juiced across the board. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to hold it back with strength. They're trying to hold on to a few animations, including the bases. So I think right now, all of the cards have been pretty mid and pretty even for quite some time, with the exception of the bigs. The bigs can keep improving because the bigs have been much more limited and much more rare. So they're holding on to the bigs and they're holding on to the bases. And for those reasons, I think you should hold on to your resources, even though these are two good cards that you can still use. This LeBron does hold his own with even modern small forwards, but I do think he is a step behind most of the good small forwards in the game at this point in the cycle. Still usable, but a step behind. So I would hold my currency, even whether you're no money spent, whether you're getting VC one way or another, my career, or throwing that credit card up in 2K's accounts, hold the line. Unless you're a LeBron James fan. Even if you're a LeBron James fan, his GOAT card is going to come out soon. So, I would very much hold the line. I don't expect it this week. I don't think they're going to do it like right before Friday, but I would expect maybe next week LeBron James GOAT cards are probably going to be on the table. This week, I wouldn't be surprised if we got Wilt, or I would expect Wilt. I would expect Wilt. That's who I would put my, if I was a betting man, which you play this mode, you probably are. I'm not, but if I was, I'd probably bet on Wilt this week. But we'll see. We'll see if that happens. All right, that's going to shut it down for me. Enjoy, and congrats to everybody who's looking for an elite point guard. You are probably going to be able to get one tomorrow, and I'll see you guys then as we talk about these cards on an individual basis. Please like and subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for your support, and peace.